What's up guys, thanks for checking out the video today. So today I'm working on an Evo 5 GSR. There was a little bit of front end noise. While I was checking the front wheel bearings, it led me towards the top hats of the coilovers. So they have what's called a spherical bearing on the top of the coilover. And here, let's take a look at this. So these are a Cusco Coilover, and they're a little bit on the old side, but they're not. I mean, they still have some life in them. Now, this would be considered the top hat. Inside here is a spherical bearing. It allows for the strut portion of the coilover to rotate, kind of like this. So as the tire compresses, it allows some movement side to side and in and out for the suspension travel. So now these bearings, they do wear out, and I've never had this happen to a car that I've owned, so I wasn't really looking for it. But when I tested the wheel bearing with the tire on, I got a little bit of a metallic clunk. So take a look at what happens when I push this way on the coilover. So now if you get in close to the car, grab onto the strut, sorry, the coilover, and you push straight up, listen to what the sound is like. So that's like a metal on metal sound, and it's coming right from here. Okay, so Cusco and all of these other coilover companies, they do sell replacement top hats. So straight from Japan, I got some new top hats. And the top hat includes that spherical bearing, which is right in here. So the idea now is going to be to remove these and to swap in new top hats to eliminate that play. Okay, so after you have the strut pulled off, you can now work on the top hat. I'd suggest pulling the top hat off with impact, but putting it back together, try your best to use hand tools. You may have to compress the spring a little bit to get this to seat, and the reason being is that the spring pushing up, what that causes is this to be very hard to put on. So what I did here was I duplicated the camber. I'm gonna have to probably check this on an alignment rack anyway, but to get it close, I set the same degrees, and you can see on the side there's a mark, there's a degree mark. And this also gives you an opportunity to clean a little bit, so that would be a good idea. So I'll duplicate the camber. Now, if you can't get this too tight, what you'd probably want to do is wait until it's on the car and the weight of the car is on it, because that'll give you an opportunity to cinch it up. Now, the proper way to tighten this, again by hand, is to insert an Allen key at the end, and then use an open wrench to tighten this down. Now, every coilover is different. Just go to the website, company website of the coilover that you have, and get a handle on the torque specs there. So now that this has been replaced, you can feel that spherical bearing even with your hands, and you can tell it is like very sloppy. So like I said, I've never had one of these go bad, but if you have high mile coilovers, if you have high mile coilovers on your car, this is something that can certainly create that front end clunk. So I'll be putting this back on the car and going to the other side and working on the other one. All right, guys, so here we are. They're both replaced. Spherical bearing was the issue. So next step would be to road test the car, which I'll probably do tomorrow. Yeah, they went in no problem. Both sides are done. And like I said earlier, when I do have this on the ground, I'm going to just double check with a Allen key and an open end wrench to make sure that this is bottomed out correctly. But it should be just fine. So yeah, so when you're doing your, just to review here, when you're doing your test for your wheel bearing, if you do grab at the top and the bottom of the wheel and you do hear a little bit of a clunk, keep in mind that that knuckle is forcing that coilover straight up, and look to that spherical bearing in your top hat to see if whether there is play in there, because that's what I ran into. There was play in the wheel bearing itself, but there was additional play in that spherical bearing, and both of those together created a pretty loud noise that was a little bit difficult to source. So but now, thanks to Cusco actually having parts availability and stock, even for a 20-year-old chassis, hopefully that's been eliminated. So thanks again for watching the video today. Please like and subscribe, hit that bell to make sure that you get my updates, and as well, come visit me on Instagram at WrenchRampage. Thanks for checking out the video. Have a good night.